Once you know this secret, keep your mouth shut, because the moment you reveal it to everyone, its power begins to disappear. Imagine carrying a treasure so valuable that speaking about it carelessly could weaken it, not because people will steal it, but because their opinions, doubts, envy, and projections will slowly poison it before it has the chance to grow. Carl Jung understood something that most people never realize. He discovered that some of the most important transformations in life happen in silence. Not every insight needs applause. Not every dream needs validation. And not every personal breakthrough should be announced to the world. Think about it. Have you ever shared a goal too early, only to lose motivation afterward? Have you ever revealed a deeply personal realization and watched others laugh, criticize, or misunderstand it? Suddenly, what felt powerful inside you became fragile. Jung believed that the deepest parts of the human psyche grow in darkness before they can survive in the light. Just as a seed develops beneath the soil before becoming a tree, your inner transformation needs protection before exposure. In today's world, people share everything: their plans, their ambitions, their relationships, their next move. Yet the strongest individuals often move quietly. They understand that some things become stronger when protected by silence. Tonight, we are going to explore the secret Carl Jung hinted at throughout his work, a psychological truth that can transform the way you think, grow, and evolve. And by the end of this video, you may discover why the most powerful thing you can do after learning a life-changing truth is to keep your mouth shut. Chapter 1: The Danger of Speaking Too Soon. What if the biggest obstacle to your success isn't failure, but talking about your success before it happens? Before we continue to the next chapter, ask me to continue so you can fully analyze this lesson. Carl Jung observed that the human mind is far more vulnerable to outside influence than most people realize. The moment you share a new dream, a fresh idea, or an emerging version of yourself, you expose it to forces that may not support its growth. Imagine planting a small seed in the ground. Every day you dig it up to show people how much it has grown. Every day you expose it to harsh winds before it develops roots. Eventually, the seed weakens. This is exactly what happens to many people's ambitions. The modern world encourages constant broadcasting. We announce our goals before we've earned them. We seek validation before we've built discipline. We want applause for the journey before we've taken the first step. Psychologists have discovered something fascinating. When people publicly announce goals, their brains often experience a premature sense of accomplishment. The recognition creates an illusion of progress. The ego feels rewarded before the work is done. Jung would have recognized this as a trap of the ego. The ego desperately wants to be seen. It wants admiration. It wants others to witness its transformation. But true transformation rarely begins in public. It begins in solitude. The strongest versions of yourself are built during the hours nobody sees. The workout nobody applauds, the book nobody knows you're reading, the discipline nobody praises. Nature itself teaches this lesson. A river does not announce where it is going. The sun does not explain why it rises. A tree does not convince anyone it is growing. They simply become what they are meant to become. And perhaps that is why truly powerful people often seem mysterious. They are not hiding because they are afraid. They are protecting something sacred because they understand a truth most people learn too late. The more energy you spend talking about your future, the less energy remains to create it. Chapter 2: The Secret Life of the Shadow. There is a version of you hidden in the darkness of your mind, and the moment you reveal it to the wrong people, they may try to convince you it doesn't exist. Before we continue to the next chapter, ask me to continue so you can fully analyze this lesson. Carl Jung's most famous idea was the concept of the shadow, the hidden part of ourselves that lives beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Most people hear the word shadow and think of something evil, But Jung meant something much deeper. The shadow contains everything you have been taught to hide. Your untapped strengths, your buried desires, your forgotten talents, your unexpressed courage, even the parts of yourself that could transform your life. From childhood, society teaches us which parts of ourselves are acceptable and which are not. Maybe you were told to be quiet when you wanted to speak. Maybe you learned to suppress ambition because it made others uncomfortable. Maybe you hid your intelligence, creativity, or confidence to avoid criticism. Slowly, pieces of your authentic self were pushed into the unconscious, and there they remained. The tragedy is that most people spend their entire lives trying to fit into an image created by others. They become strangers to themselves. They seek approval while abandoning the very qualities that could make them extraordinary. Jung warned that what remains unconscious eventually controls us. As he famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Think about the moments when you felt inexplicably angry, jealous, insecure, or afraid. Often these emotions are messages from the shadow. They are signals pointing towards something within yourself that demands attention. But here's where silence becomes important. When you begin discovering hidden aspects of yourself, not everyone will understand. In fact, many people will resist your growth. Why? Because your transformation forces them to confront their own limitations. A person who has abandoned their dreams may discourage yours. A person afraid of change may mock your evolution. A person trapped in mediocrity may feel threatened by your potential. This is why Jung believed the process of individuation, the journey toward becoming your true self, is deeply personal. It cannot be outsourced, it cannot be voted on, and it certainly cannot be guided by the opinions of people who have never walked your path. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. If 100 strangers interrupted every few minutes with suggestions, criticisms, and doubts, the sculpture would never emerge. The same is true for your inner development. Your emerging self needs space. It needs solitude. It needs protection, not because it is weak, but because it is unfinished. A butterfly is not shown to the world while struggling inside the cocoon. Nature protects transformation until transformation is complete. Perhaps the greatest mistake people make is revealing their becoming before they have become. The world sees uncertainty and labels it failure. The world sees experimentation and calls it confusion. The world sees growth and mistakes it for inconsistency, but Jung understood something profound. The person you are becoming must often be protected from the person you used to be and from the people who only know that version of you. Your silence is not secrecy. Your silence is incubation. Your silence is strength. And sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is continue your transformation without explaining it to anyone. Chapter 3. Why people resist your growth. The moment you begin changing, you may discover a painful truth. Not everyone who loves the old you will celebrate the new you. Before we continue to the next chapter, ask me to continue so you can fully analyze this lesson. One of the most difficult lessons in life is realizing that growth changes relationships, not because you become a different person, but because you become more of who you truly are. Carl Jung understood that every individual unconsciously creates a social identity, a mask he called the persona. This mask helps us function in society. It is the version of ourselves we show the world. The agreeable employee, the reliable friend, the obedient child, the person everyone expects us to be. The problem begins when people become attached to your mask. They grow comfortable with a predictable version of you. Then one day, something changes. You stop seeking approval. You start setting boundaries. You become more confident. You speak with greater conviction. You pursue goals that once seemed impossible. And suddenly, some people become uncomfortable. Why? Because your growth disrupts the story they have been telling themselves about who you are. Imagine a group of crabs inside a bucket. Whenever one crab attempts to climb out, the others pull it back down. The strange thing is that they are not necessarily trying to be cruel, they are simply acting according to their nature. Human beings often do something similar. When someone close to us begins evolving, it forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. If they can change, why haven't I? If they can overcome fear, what's stopping me? If they can pursue their dreams, what excuse am I holding on to? These questions create psychological discomfort, and instead of facing that discomfort, many people unconsciously try to restore the old balance. They may discourage you, they may criticize your decisions, they may joke about your ambitions, they may remind you of your past mistakes, not because they hate you, but because your transformation threatens their perception of reality. Jung referred to this process as projection. People often project their own fears, insecurities, and limitations onto others. The person who tells you your dream is impossible may secretly believe their own dream is impossible. The person who calls your ambition unrealistic may have surrendered their own ambitions years ago. The person who mocks your discipline may be fighting a battle with their own lack of discipline. Their words are not always descriptions of you. They are often confessions about themselves. This is why silence becomes a form of wisdom. Not every criticism deserves a response. Not every misunderstanding requires an explanation. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. The oak tree does not stop growing because someone doubts its height. The mountain does not shrink because someone questions its existence. And your purpose should not be abandoned because someone else cannot see it. There comes a point in every transformation where you must decide, will you become who you truly are? Or will you remain who others are comfortable with? That decision is rarely easy. It may require distance. It may require loneliness. It may require disappointing people who expected you to stay the same forever. But Jung believed that the greatest tragedy is not being rejected by others. The greatest tragedy is rejecting yourself. Because every time you betray your authentic nature for approval, a part of your soul grows weaker. And every time you honor your truth despite resistance, a part of your soul grows stronger. The people who are meant to walk with you will eventually recognize your growth, and those who cannot accept it were never truly in love with who you were becoming. They were only attached to who you used to be. Chapter 4. The Secret That Must Be Protected. What if the greatest power you will ever discover is not something to share with the world, but something to quietly live? This is the final lesson, and it is the lesson Carl Jung spent a lifetime pointing toward. After all the theories, all the symbols, all the exploration of the unconscious, Jung arrived at a profound realization: the deepest truths cannot be fully explained. They can only be experienced. Many people spend years searching for answers outside themselves. They seek another book, another mentor, another relationship, another breakthrough. They believe that somewhere, someone possesses the secret that will finally transform their lives. But eventually, if they search deeply enough, they discover something surprising. The secret was never hidden from them. It was hidden within them. Jung believed that every human being carries an inner wisdom, a deeper self, that exists beneath the noise of the ego, beneath social expectations, beneath fear and conditioning. The tragedy is that most people never hear this inner voice, not because it is silent, but because the world is too loud. Every day, countless voices compete for your attention. Social media tells you who to become. Advertisements tell you what to desire. Strangers tell you how to live. Society tells you what success should look like, and gradually your own voice becomes harder to hear. Yet there are moments when it breaks through, perhaps during a sleepless night, a quiet walk, a painful loss, a moment of solitude, a sudden realization. For a brief instant you feel something undeniable, a truth, a calling, a direction. And in that moment, you know, not because someone convinced you, not because someone approved, but because something deep within your soul recognizes it. This is the secret, and this is why you must protect it. The moment you rush to explain every insight, every dream, every transformation, you invite noise into a sacred space. Not everyone can understand your journey because not everyone is living your experience. A person standing at the base of a mountain cannot fully comprehend what the climber sees near the summit. Likewise, some truths are meant to guide your life, not become topics of endless debate. The strongest conviction is often the quietest. Think about the river again. It does not announce its destination, yet it reaches the ocean. Think about the sunrise. It does not seek permission to appear, yet it illuminates the world. Think about the seed. It spends months hidden underground. Nobody applauds it. Nobody notices it. Yet one day it breaks through the surface and becomes impossible to ignore. Your growth is the same. You do not need to explain every move. You do not need to convince everyone. You do not need universal approval. You do not need constant validation. You only need the courage to continue. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Notice what he did not say. He did not say the privilege of a lifetime is being admired or understood or applauded or validated. The privilege is becoming the person hidden beneath fear, becoming the person hidden beneath insecurity, becoming the person hidden beneath the mask. And that journey is sacred. Some people will never understand it. Some people will doubt it. Some people will even resist it. Let them, because the greatest transformations happen quietly. The strongest roots grow underground. The deepest waters move silently, and the most powerful truths require no announcement. So if life reveals a secret to you, if your soul whispers a truth you cannot ignore, if you discover a path that feels undeniably yours, protect it, nurture it, live it, and until it becomes strong enough to stand on its own, keep your mouth shut. Tonight, ask yourself one question. What truth have I already discovered about myself that I've been seeking permission to believe? Perhaps the answer has been waiting inside you all along. And perhaps your next chapter begins the moment you stop explaining yourself to the world and start listening to yourself instead. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment with the word silence, not as a promise to hide from the world, but as a reminder to protect what is growing within you until it is strong enough to bloom, because sometimes the most powerful move you can make is the one nobody knows you're making.